Mostamos. My name is Benher Carriaga. This time I would like to share my understanding about animal cells. Let's start to dive into. In the field of biology, animal cells are basically cells that are only found in all animals, including us, humans. Let's get deeper now. Animal cells belong to the biological domain called eukaryota. In other words, they are eukaryotic. It means they have the genetic material called deoxyribonucleic acid, the DNA in the form of chromosomes contained in their distinct nuclei. How they have entered the scene of the planet Earth? Somewhere between 3.5 to 2.5 billion years ago, the ancestors of what we now call cyanobacteria had started to dominate in the entire surface of world's waters over the anaerobic microbes, or tiny organisms that scavenge what molecules they find for energy and do not need oxygen in order to survive. These are bluish-green bacteria that are capable of harnessing the energy from sunlight to turn carbon dioxide and water into oxygen gas and sugars. These prokaryotes produced more oxygen that it could be absorbed, and this gas started building up in the atmosphere around 2.5 to 2.4 billion years ago. Oxygen-rich air was actually toxic for these anaerobic microbes. Because of this, most of them died. This event is called the oxygen catastrophe. At the same time, the amount of methane there gradually diminished as this gas was combined with oxygen that formed carbon dioxide and water. Methane and carbon dioxide are both greenhouse gases, or gases that can trap sun's heat in the lower atmosphere of the planet. However, carbon dioxide can trap less sun's heat than methane. Because of this, the blanket in the atmosphere at the time became thinner, which in turn, most of sun's heat were going away from the planet, to drop the temperature to the degree that Earth had experienced the first and possibly longest ice age around 2.4 to 2.1 billion years ago. This event was called the Huronian glaciation. After several hundred million years, life on Earth adjusted. About 1.8 billion years ago, the first forms of eukaryotic organisms, including animal cells, were born. Majority of them were aerobic, or ones that need oxygen for energy, so they had started to absorb more of this excess gas in the atmosphere. Fast forward to between 640 to 630 million years ago, the first forms of multicellular eukaryotic organisms, including first animals, were born after several hundred years of the aerobic organisms being able to use the chemical energy in oxygen. After another several hundred million years, the animals of succeeding generations diversified and developed gradually into more complex forms. For example, some reptiles had become bigger in size than other living organisms, such as dinosaurs. After the age of their domination on Earth, some mammals had become more intelligent than the other living organisms, such as humans. Here are some parts of a typical animal cell. Cell membrane is composed of double-layered phospholipids. It selects specific substances to pass through and blocking others. Cytoplasm contains a semi-fluid substance called cytosol, which is composed of mainly water and organic and inorganic substances. It holds the organelles in place and serves as a medium for transfer. Cytoskeletons are filamentous or fibrous and designed for cell protection and support. Golgi apparatus has flattened membrane-bound sacs that modifies, sorts, and packages substances. Mitochondria produce ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, that provides energy for the cell. Vacuoles are membranous sacs that store water and organic and inorganic substances. Centrosome is vital for cell division, wherein it produces centrioles that produce spindle fibers. Ribosomes synthesizes proteins and RNA, the ribonucleic acid. Lysosomes have membrane-bound, spherical and digestive sacs and contains lysozyme, a kind of enzyme that breaks down the molecular polymers and defective cellular parts. Endoplasmic reticulum, ER for short, is a network of sac-like sheets and tubes responsible for the production of various organic compounds. There are two types of ER. Rough ER has attached ribosomes that produce secretory proteins to be transferred out of the cell. Smooth ER does not have ribosomes and thus synthesize lipids, phospholipids, and steroids. Nucleus is considered as the brain of the cell. It is spherical and the storage of DNA and RNA. There are some parts inside the nucleus. Nucleolus is a small, dense, dark, spherical structure and the central part of the nucleus. Nucleoplasm is also known as karyoplasm. Similar to the cytoplasm, it holds the nucleolus in place. Nuclear membrane functions like the plasma membrane. It surrounds the nucleus. I would like to say thank you to all the people who have watched this video until the end. I know I am just a person who has been studying at the school and learning about biology, so I apologize if I have some general deficiencies and inaccuracies that may be contained in this video. I wish I can make another video of this kind in the near future. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.